Hello and happy birthday to all of the September Libras out there. Welcome to your tarot card reading for September 2023. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here. For those of you who are new, my name is Jane. So these tarot card readings you can watch for either your sun, moon, or rising sign, depending on whichever resonates with you the most. If you are here for love specifically, you are also welcome to check out your Venus sign as well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Hello Libra, welcome to your September 2023 tarot card reading. Let's go ahead and get started here with the card from my intuitive deck. See what comes through. Okay, I actually really like this card because we do have Mars in your sign, which can be nice sometimes to have Mars there because it really offers a lot of direction. If you've been feeling a little floundery or confused or anything like that, I think it's possible you'll have some clarity by the end of the month, especially as we enter into Libra season itself. I don't think this is a really good time for Libra to be doubting, to doubt the choices that they've made up to this point. It's not a good time to backtrack. It's a time to really stay committed to what you've said you were going to do and to really show up as much as you can and actually fulfill these promises you've made to yourself. Because it really is about you and the promises you've made to you, about who you want to be and what you want your life to look like. And other people can be affected, spouses, children, everyone at work, right? People can be affected positively when you do that. And so I feel that there's a conscious effort on Libra's part here to really be the person that they say they want to be. And that includes small things and big things alike. It doesn't really matter what you've got going on in your life. Big things and small things. There's a little bit of you in everything. And I think Libra has this intention on leaving a positive mark. Not that you're necessarily sitting here thinking about your legacy per se. It may not be that big of a picture right now. But I do think you are wanting to put your best foot forward. This is what happens when Mars comes out to play, right? Mars is a leadership planet. He's autonomous, he's strong, and when he's in your first house, there is that quality of, like kind of a me for me type of attitude. So let's go ahead and take a look here. I'm doing things just a little differently than what I normally do. I'm going to use an oracle card for what the universe needs from you this month. Time to heal. Okay, I like the healing energy that's coming out right now. A big part of this is the fact that the North Node is coming into a conjunction with Chiron. Now, they're going to be in a conjunction for a really long time, so this is not going to be like a fleeting moment, all right? We've got the node and we have Chiron retrograde over in Aries. But the thing I like about it the most is that the healing does not necessarily have to be, it can be, but it doesn't necessarily have to be this deep, painful exposure of all of these wounds, all right? If you're there, if that's where you are, that's fine, but it doesn't have to be like that. I think with Mars in your sign especially, and then the sun coming into your sign later on, there is this component of focusing on the future as a means of healing, right? Like doing what you say you're going to do, fulfilling your promises, showing up for yourself, putting your best foot forward. That is a massive way to heal. And it can feel great. And I feel like throughout the course of September, there does seem to be kind of a confidence, like a progressive or a consistently increasing confidence boost. And the more and more you do, the better and better you feel. And the better you feel, the more you do. And it's this really positive feedback loop that you have. It's potential. I'm not saying every Libra is going to do it, but there's potential there for that. And healing can be exhilarating, and it can be passionate, and it can be full of good things, and it can be full of accomplishments and achievements, even if they're small ones. Again, I don't think this has anything to do with anyone else. It's not about living up to anyone else's expectations. It's not about fulfilling, your promises to others, although probably you will, but it's about what you say you're going to do. It's about what you say you want to be and actually doing it. And in a way, with South Node in your sign, there is often a shedding of an identity that happens during this time. But when you shed one identity, another identity must be reborn to take its place. So in the environment, work through your fears. Okay, we have healing and fears. Probably those go hand in hand. And because this is an external environment card, or this position here represents the external environment, there could be circumstances that you're dealing with that are scary. There could be financial circumstances, there could be relational, employment, those types of things. And the question is who you are becoming. Does it mean you have to shake things up in your external world a little bit? And is Libra truly prepared to do that? Because when you're so focused and you are showing up, you are going to notice certain shifts in your life. And when things start to shift and you start to heal and you feel more confident, you may want to take some bigger risks or make some bigger choices or whatever the case may be. And when you do that, things tend to shift alongside of you and there can be some loss. But I think working through your fears of loss is going to be a big part of what's going on here. You can't be an old self and a new self all at the same time. You can't have your old life and your new life all at the same time. There has to be a release. So the fear around losing, this is very South Node of you, okay? The fear around losing is maybe going to be a point of focus for you. But what you're doing ultimately is creating room for more or better or more fulfilling or more happiness or whatever the case is. So there really isn't too much to be afraid of. The transition can be scary. The letting go can be scary because sometimes you say, well, if I let go of this, then but I don't have a guarantee that the new thing is coming in. I'm just going to be in limbo for a while. But I will tell you that right now is an excellent time to be in limbo. So if you're feeling like that, you're exactly where you're supposed to be astrologically. It's okay to be feeling like you're trapped between worlds. I think that's one of the things that Virgo season often brings out, just generally, but especially this one with the Mercury retrograde in there happening right now in the 12th house for you. It's okay to have a little bit of a wandering heart, a wandering spirit. It's okay to want different things. But I know in your heart of hearts that your soul has been speaking to you and has really made it clear what you want ultimately, in the long run. So if you keep your focus on the long run, it will be easier to show up for yourself on a daily basis. All right, we have a King of Swords, Fool, King of Wands. I'll save this one for just a minute. Okay, so we've got all these kings here. I love the masculine energy for a sign that has Mars. I love the stoicism that the King of Swords brings out as well. I actually kind of feel like both of these are you, Libra. It feels like you're not necessarily emotionally entangled in stuff, and you have a very clear mind to make good decisions for yourself, and you can detach enough, at least detaching from any excuses or any narratives that you have that are preventing or had been preventing you from growth. King of Swords is very good at taking a step back and really looking at himself and being like, all right, what's working, what's not working, what needs to change. And he doesn't get upset or offended or hurt when he identifies something that needs to change. He's not going to sit and fight for something that's not working. He's not too proud. Sometimes our pride can get in the way. But in this instance, especially with the Fool in the middle, it feels like the creative energy of King of Wands is really driving this too. So you have the decision-making and the stoicism of a King of Swords, but the creativity and the passion of a King of Wands, which says, let's take this leap of faith. Now, this is not completely impulsive. It's not completely irresponsible, this Fool card. This is not just throwing everything away and forgetting something, or, I do feel with the King of Swords right next to it that there's calculation and strategy with this. Like you're kind of throwing yourself into something. Again, maybe as a means to heal. Maybe you've decided, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to really commit to that. I'm going to sign up for this. I'm going to try that. I'm going to push myself like that. I'm going to learn this skill. I'm going to learn that language. I'm going to read this book, whatever it is. It's not like you are, like I say, throwing your life away and thinking that, my cat's coming to say hi. Hi, Annie. It's not like you're throwing your whole life away and expecting everything to just work out magically, right? I'm sure you're at this point where you're thinking it through. You are, in a way, very ready for stuff too, ready for things to evolve. Okay, well, I guess it was technically reversed, even though I'm not doing reversals lately. Nine of Wands. What else for Libra? We have the Eight of Cups. I don't know, the Nine of Swords I'm feeling an annoyed feeling. For those of you who don't know anything about me, I know there's all these different sort of psychic qualities, clairvoyance, clairaudience, all these different types of, claircognizance, all that kind of stuff. I tend to identify heavily with the clairsentient, which means I feel things. And the Nine of Swords, I feel very annoyed by it. It feels like this is an aspect of you. Maybe it's the stress, maybe it's the anxiety, maybe it's the worry about the unknown, the kind of resistance to the mystery that you may be feeling. I don't think that's what you want to feel, Libra. I don't think that is what your heart is trying to guide you towards. I think if you had your druthers, you'd be able to just say, I don't want to think that, and then just move on with your life. It's not repression that's going on, all right? It's not like you're trying to stuff this into a box deep inside of you and forget that this exists. I think this is really coming out as just this is preventing me from my Fool energy. It is preventing me from moving on. It is preventing me, and therefore it is problematic. And I don't like it. I don't want this to be the problem. I don't want to be my own problem. This is probably just the aspect of you that's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you from, making stupid mistakes and whatnot. And, you may have some valid fears, right? Work through your fears. You may have some valid fears. I'm not trying to invalidate the reality of your life. But I also know that you don't want to use things as an excuse not to do the thing that you really want to do. And if you do find yourself making excuses, I think you're going to get really frustrated with yourself. Please don't be hard on yourself, okay? This is not meant to make you feel, negative about what you're feeling. You can acknowledge it, you can honor it, you can do whatever you need to do with it, but it doesn't mean that you stop making good choices for yourself. Because remember that first card I got, it's really about that straight shot, showing up, all that kind of stuff. It may be tempting to wallow in your Nine of Swords, but that's why I love the King of Swords, because he can detach from that Nine of Swords. He is the King of Swords after all, meaning he does have some degree of command over the mind and over the thoughts themselves. So he can detach, he can step away. And even with the Two of Swords here as well, because if it's a temptation to stay here, or a temptation to wallow or to stay stagnant, even though I don't think Libra wants to. right? I don't think Libra wants to be standing still right now. I think Mars is going to really push. Plus, we have Jupiter retrograde in the 8th house as well. And I think Jupiter in the 8th is really wanting that transformation to occur. So when you find yourself at a crossroads, this or that, hemming and hawing, thinking, maybe there's a little bit of, trying to figure out the priorities that's going on. I think that's when the King of Wands kicks in. And the real question is what does your heart say? What is it you ultimately want to create in your life? And that's a question that you can probably keep coming back to kind of keep you grounded and keep your feet on the ground there. Because once you start moving on from this 8 of Cups, you don't want to turn around and run back. And that's what the 9 of Swords is going to try to get you to do. It's going to try to get you to come back. This can be very alluring, because this is an effect of change. And if we're afraid of the change, we can run back to the comfort zone, and then the 9 of Swords will go away. And that's attractive sometimes, to get the 9 of Swords to go away. There's a lot of self-control, a lot of self-awareness that's coming out here. And I think you have the power of self-analysis. I don't know that you necessarily are going to need other people to tell you what's going on with you. I think you know exactly what's going on with you. You know exactly what this is. You know exactly what you're resisting. You know exactly what you're running from. So it's just a matter of not doing it. Sometimes that's really hard. Sometimes it's easier. Sometimes that's really hard. I would say that other people in your life, relationships and whatnot, can be used and leveraged to help push you forward in this 8 of Cups scenario, help push you along your way. And, to have friends and family and people that love you that say, I'm not going to let you go back. I'm not going to let you turn around. I'm not going to let you quit. I'm not going to let you give up. And those people, you may not like them when they're doing that because you just really want to go back to the comfort zone. But at the end of the day, those are the ones that love you the most. Because they're not going to let you quit. They're not going to let you give up on your dreams. They're not going to let you give up on your life. This is the natural order of what it needs to be, okay? The pendulum swinging with that Justice card. I know technically it's the scales of justice. It's not really a pendulum, I get it. But those scales do tend to go through these massive adjustment periods. And that's a big part of what Mars in Libra is going to do. Plus, we also have the Mercury retrograde doing that as well. And your ruling planet, in September is going to station direct, and she's going to go through her post-shadow phase. So she's going to be cleaning up a lot of the things that the Venus retrograde brought out. So that's why I love the King of Wands card, because it reminds us that we still have Venus in Leo. Your ruling planet is still in Leo. This is the Leo card, or one of them, okay? And the Leo is about following your soul. It's about following the deepest desires that your soul came here to experience. And Venus has been helping us to attune to our highest values, the things that we value most in this life. And that alignment, that attunement is going to start having actual effects and actual changes over the next couple of years. And so that's one of the reasons why it's like, don't go back, because there's such a beautiful future ahead of you. And in a way, when I look at this Time to Heal card, in a way it feels like the pain There's potential for the pain to be so far back in that rear view as we continue to move forward through the rest of this year, especially with that South Node coming through your sign over the next year and a half. Now, the Knight of Cups is really optimistic. It even has a romantic stint about it. It has this, I believe, I have faith, I can see the highest potential. This one would hate to be here in the Nine of Swords. Now, you may not really feel this in your heart, that Knight of Cups energy. You may not feel the romance or feel the excitement and the possibility. You may not really feel it intrinsically, okay? This may be outsourced to another person, meaning another person comes in and supplements that energy in your life. They are optimistic for you. They believe for you. They believe in you for you. These people are invaluable right now, because where we may be lacking in self-confidence or whatever, we can kind of leverage another person's perspective of us. They can see us succeeding. They can see us moving on. They can see us healing. They can see us taking our power back. And because they can see it, maybe it makes it more okay for you to see it within yourself as well. And with the Hanged Man, finally, it feels there is a time stretch. Okay, I don't know that September is going to bring massively huge events. Really, for anyone. I mean, there might be some global stuff and political stuff and whatever going on, but for us as individuals, it's going to feel more personal. Like you're just really into your own life a lot. You're in your own world. You're with your own people. And the accomplishments and the achievements and all of this, it's not really about, that's not what this season is about. This season is about the tiny microscopic adjustments that we make on a daily basis, right? It's Virgo season for the most part. And even as we move into Libra, it's a little bit smaller scale. We wake up and we choose one thing over another thing. We do one thing over another thing, right? We choose the healthier, better options for us. I use this example with Virgo. It's like you wake up and you drink a cup of water, or do you drink a cup of coffee? You wake up, do you go for a run, or do you sit and scroll on Instagram all day, or TikTok or social media? Do you wake up and, get right to work, or do you wake up and putz around and do nothing? It's about self-control and adjusting behavior in a specific way to align you with the type of person that you see yourself being. And that's going to instill a lot of confidence. And I think you're going to need a lot of confidence with what's going on here. Because again, that temptation to come back is going to be pretty strong. Now, the Hanged Man is about coming into consciousness, which takes time, which is often why there's a delay or a suspension that occurs when this card comes out. I wouldn't expect huge thing. Now, if something big and good happens, then great, amazing. You're super lucky. You can be grateful and fortunate and all that. But if it doesn't, don't worry. Because you're coming into consciousness here and now as you're integrating new things into your life, into your daily schedule, your daily world. And the more and more you do, the more and more ready you feel to take this leap of faith. And I think there is a lot of excitement here. But like I say, this sort of stoic King of Swords kind of contains that excitement a little bit, which is why I like the Knight of Cups. Because it's like if you can let someone be excited for you, then maybe you can be a little bit more excited for yourself. But I feel like you've kind of capped it with that King of Swords, because you don't want to be overly enthusiastic. It just feels like this is something you need to do, but I know there is excitement and passion there with that King of Wands. There's connection. So I would say if there was like one piece of advice for you to take away from this, it really is to just do your best each day, truly. so that when you go to bed at the end of the day and you look back and you think about what happened, you don't feel like you wasted the day. You don't feel, now keep in mind, there can be really productive things that don't require like going to work, right? You can meditate, you can go for a walk in nature. If you need time off, you can take time off. That can also be a really productive thing. Productivity is going to mean different things for each and every one of you. But if you go to bed at the end of the day and think about whether or not you have any regrets for how you spent your time, right? If you don't have any regrets, I'd say you did it flawlessly. If you do have some regrets, it's not to berate yourself. It's simply to wake up the next morning and do it in such a way so that you won't. It's simple, it's small, and it's opening a lot of doors that maybe you can't really see right now. Okay? All right, let's pull out the clarifiers. So for those of you who are new, we're going to pull out a whole bunch of new cards, and we're going to talk about all of these in the comprehensive reading. So if you want to join, you are more than welcome. All the info is in the description box on how to access that. So we're going to start by clarifying this snake spirit card. Beautiful devil. And the Four of Cups. Okay. In the environment, another Two of Swords. A Moon card. Okay. Oh, High Priestess. A lot of kind of moon energy coming through in that environment. All right, let's see. For the King of Swords, what does Libra need to know here? Strength. Queen of Coins. Eight of Coins. Okay, I love the Eight of Coins. For the Fool. Three of Coins, another King of Wands. I love it. And then Ace of Swords. Beautiful. Oh, the Sun. The Magician. Wow, amazing. It's a powerful King of Wands we've got there. Nine of Swords. We have the Empress. Four of Coins, and Death. Death does not surprise me. Now, death is not a term we usually use for the South Node, but the South Node can have death and transformational type of effects. Okay, so we'll talk about that. So we have the Nine of Coins, Hierophant, and Three of Cups, another Eight of Swords, King of Cups, and the Tower. Ooh, Knight of Cups with the Eight of Cups, the Ace of Wands, Page of Wands. Beautiful. King of Swords with the Justice card, Nine of Wands, Seven of Wands, Five of Coins, the Wheel of Fortune, Page of Coins. Okay. All right. So this is where we're going to pick up, Libra. If you want to join, again, all the info is in the description box down below. Thank you so much. You guys know how much I love and adore you. Have an amazing month, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.